Peace and blessings, everyone. It's me, Coach Ed Gladney, here today on Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports to talk a little preview, Week 11 of the New York Giants versus the Detroit Lions. This is my first attempt at the preview. Give you a little insight into what I'm looking for, what I think, a little bit of stats, a little breakdown on key player. Battles and pull up a clip or two to go over what I'm looking for within these particular battles. So this way, you guys get my insight into what I'm looking for from this game. All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. But if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification. This way, you'll know when I post new content. And everyone, please like and share on all your social media platforms. This will help me continue to grow the channel and I can continue to bring you some great content. So, thanks a lot. All right, so getting into my preview in reference to the Giants and the Lions. It's going to be played Sunday at MetLife Stadium, 1 o'clock kickoff. So I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to be sitting back and really diving into this game. Now, the keys to this success for both teams. It's one thing that I've always talked about. Starts with trench warfare. Um, you have to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and that goes for both teams. You know, for them to be successful, they have to win the line of scrimmage. You can't let the other team dictate what's going to happen. Now, for the Giants, that starts with ball control. You know, controlling the clock, making sure your run game is very effective and efficient. You know, this also allow you to control the flow of the game. Um, Everything with the Giants, we all know, starts with the run game, especially Mr. Number 26 and also Daniel Jones. You know, they're key to everything within the run game. So it's very important that the Giants get the running game going. On defense, now, Detroit does have a very good offense and they're able to run and pass. One thing that I think is very important is for the Giants to make them one dimensional, pick one or the other. Don't let them be able to effectively control both aspects of that game. You know, if you can take away the run game and make them a passing um, a team, at least this way you know pretty much what they're going to be forced to do. It also will allow Wink to create those exotic blitzes. It'll also allow you to get pressure into Jared Goff's face, get good clean hits, at critical sacks at the critical times. You can even force him into those critical turnovers, a fumble or an interception. So that's very important for New York to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and it allowed them those key points. For Detroit, they have to stay balanced, make use of good play action because it'll make their offense that much more dangerous, you know, against the Giants defense. On defense, I'm sorry, you also want to make sure you attack the weakness of the Giants, which is their linebackers first and foremost. As long as you can do that, and Detroit will be able to have good, efficient running, and it'll make their offense that much more effective. Defensively, they need to limit New York's ability to control the clock and run the ball. They want to take that away. They want to take 26 out of the box and force New York into passing the ball. And right now, New York is not is porous in terms of wide receivers. So every team wants to pretty much do that and force them into the passing game and take away Saquon Barkley. They also want to attack New York's offensive lines, primarily the right tackle Phillips and Shane Lemieux because he's getting his first action after a long time, especially a first start. So you want to attack those two to see if you can get knocks on. You can attack the armor. With the New York Giants, especially with their offensive line. Another key component to success is who's going to master the projected weather, the wind. Um, if so, who's going to have the better running game? Because it's projected to be windy, and if it is windy, then your running game is going to be that much more prevalent in terms of trying to control the game and win the game. Because if that wind is going, it's going to be hard for the most part to get the ball downfield, passing wise. So you're going to have to attack them um, through the run game, both sides of both defenses. Um, Next is, how efficient will the coaching adjustments be for each team? Does Dable and his staff continue their seasonal adjustment and the mastery that they've been doing so far? Or can Dan Campbell figure a way to overcome any obstacles that the Giants can present? And can he adjust to those obstacles that may come about? And how can he motivate his team? I mean, he's very good. Both coaches are good at motivating their players. So, and they play for their coaches. So, who's going to be able to adjust properly and get the most out of their players? So, that's some of the key points, the 3 points that I'm going to be looking for the most out of the game on Sunday. The next point I want to talk about is player battles to watch. And it does start. It still continues with the interior, the trench, the offense and defensive line. It's actually primarily going to be Detroit's offensive line versus New York's defensive line, and two players that I'm going to be looking at the most. First of all, if Frank Ragnow does not play, then Evan Brown is going to be taking over at center. He's their right guard. So that means he's going to have to go up consistently with Dexter Lawrence, and that's what I want to see. Ken Brown control the middle of the Lions line and allow their running game of William Swift to continue to be the tandem that they have been this year. I mean, offensively, Detroit has accumulated 1,168 yards, about 130 yards a game. New York has given up about 1,200 yards, which is about 132 yards a game. So, can Brown control the middle of that line, because that'll also allow them to have a balanced attack. I mean, Detroit loves to get physical in the run game. They really do. So, Brown and Lawrence are going to be key to how the battle goes and who wins in the trenches. Dexter Lawrence is having an All-Pro year. So can Brown step his game up and really control that component to the New York Giants defense? Or is Dexter Lawrence going to continue to go out there and just wreak havoc? The way he's been doing all season, and Dexter Lawrence also helps in terms of, helping Leo Williams be able to continue to get reacclimated after his injury. So, that the middle of that line on both sides of the ball is going to be critical. So, what I'm going to do is I have a couple of clips, video clips of Mr. Brown. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And we're going to go ahead and talk about this. This is last week against Chicago. Right here, Brown is the right guard, number 63. And here, this should be a zone stretch out of the eye going to the weak side. And what I noticed here is the defensive tackle got good leverage on him and controlled him, got right under his shoulder and basically moved him and jammed him up right into the flow of the run. So let's take a look here at this clip, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. So once the motion clears, you're going to see Brown. There he goes, gets totally bowled right into the running back, because you're going to see that he's going to take him, drive him straight up in here. What he does is he's going to take his hands and get right up underneath him, get good control, and get knock his balance off. The one thing that I have noticed about Brown is that he does give up his chest. So as a defender, you're able to get inside of his breastplates and get control of the interior of his shoulder pads. That's right up in here. You're able to get in control of him and basically discard him, whatever you choose to do. So let's take a look at that again. You're going to see how he attacks him, gets his hands up in him, and just washes and makes the play right onto the running back. So that was one play that I felt was very shows a lot of who he is in terms of Brown, in terms of run blocking. The next is here is you're going to watch, I believe it's number 93. Um, he's going to dance and swim, and Brown has no lateral ability. Sorry about that. They jumped. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this is the next play. It's the same play. It's gonna be the same play, and what's gonna happen? You're gonna get a better view of this completely. As he does, you see what he did. He just totally swam. He has no quickness, no good lateral movement. So he was able to get right into him and make a play into the backfield, and that's something that you want to do defensively. In terms of Brown, those are some of the moves. And the last one is this one. Here we go. Yeah, this is it right here. He should move down, and he's going to engage him, control, disengage, and that's what I'm looking for from Leo as well as Dexter Lawrence. When you have this opportunity, if he's at center, you can get control of him as he just did right there. Got good control of Brown, discarded him, and was able to make a play on the running back. And that's actually what I'm looking for from Dexter Lawrence whenever he's going up against him, especially if he's playing at the center position. Because you're going to basically take him out of the play because, and they're going to be forced to actually give him a little bit more help. Forcing the guards to come down and help him because if he can't handle him one on one, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Now, Detroit does a lot of zone blocking. So what he likes to do, Brown, what he likes to do is he just likes to get into his defense alignment and take him wherever he's going. He's not going to power them. He's just going to get into them, try and play with leverage and just ride them whichever way they're going. So Dexter Lawrence can't allow him to do that. He has to play with good leverage. He has to get good hands into his breastplate and control him, and then disengage in terms of Brown, and then get after the football, whatever it is. One other key extra point I'm going to be keeping an eye out is even though they're not going to directly play each other, it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. I mean, Hutchinson, drafted higher. He leads all rookies with 5.5 sacks this season. So you can't allow him to be a disruptor. But on the flip side, Kayvon, he has to be that disruptor. He has to cause havoc, get good pressure on Goff, and also getting into the backfield to make plays in the running game, trying to get some good tackles for losses. Now, what I hope to see is New York's offense, if and when the moment presents itself, is connect with any explosive play opportunities, whether it's offensively, defensively, or special teams. You have to get explosive plays. Again, offensively, it could be the run. So, if you get a 20-yard run or more, that's what I'm looking for. If you do have the opportunity to pass, good. Defensively, getting good turnovers, getting good hits on the quarterback, sacks if necessary to get the defense off the field. That's what I'm looking for. New York needs to dictate the game and not allow Detroit, to get confidence, because if you allow them to get confidence in your own stadium, then, they're going to continue to grow. They're going to get a lot more aggressive and feisty and really feel stronger as the game gets towards the end that they can win the game. So you have to, as best you can, take that opportunity away. Also, fans who are there, you got to make noise. Especially when Detroit is on offense, you have to make that noise. Hopefully we can get some of those penalties. False starts because they can't hear. Fans have to make that good noise when Detroit is on offense. And also, we have to continue to our red zone mastery. We score touchdowns, but when the defense, when they get to the red zone, force them into field goals, if anything. So those are some of the things that I'm hoping to see, from the Giants on Sunday. Now in terms of stats, I mean, we all know the stats. In terms of scoring defense, New York is ninth in the NFL at 19-2, and Detroit is dead last at 29-3. Offensively, New York's scoring is at 20.8, which is 22nd in the league, and Detroit is 24-3, which is ninth in the league. So, when Detroit is on the field offensively, it's going to be their best positional group in terms of offense versus our positional group, which is defense. So, that's going to be key. Now, one thing that I did take a look at, currently, both teams have played four of the same teams. Yes, going into the rest of the season, there are a few other teams that we're both going to be playing, but currently, they've played Chicago, Dallas, Green Bay, and Seattle. Out of those four games, they're both 2-2, and they both won against the same teams, Chicago and Green Bay, and lost against Dallas and Seattle. Now, in those four games, New York has scored 19 points. That's their average, and given up 21 points, while Detroit has scored 24.25, while they've given up 27.75. So, as you see, um, the scoring opportunities go up for Detroit, both offensively and defensively, while New York, tries to keep it down close to what their seasonal average is of 19-2. So that's what I'm kind of expecting in that regard. Overall, what I think is going to end up happening is New York is going to end up coming away with the win, and um, New York is going to end up going to 8-2, and they're going to win 24-23 over the Detroit Lions. Yeah, it's a close game. I really think it's going to be that close of a game. It's going to possibly come down to a field goal winning it at the end of the game. Hopefully not. Hopefully, we'll have a good enough lead that even if they score in the closing moments, we'll be able to control everything from there. So again, I figured New York is going to win, going to 8-2, and we'll end up with a 24-23 win. So that's my prediction. That's what I'm looking for this weekend. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. What's your prediction in terms of the score for the game? Who do you think is going to win? Do you have any keys that you're looking for? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Okay. So again, thanks for tuning in today. I really appreciate everyone taking the time. I can't do this without you guys, so I really am humbled by all the support that everyone brings to me. So again, thank you enough. And as I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Peace.